Abandoned starship revived. Human makes it the ultimate weapon of the galaxy. In the middle of this emptiness drifted a small human salvage ship, the Aurora's Edge, barely more than a speck against the vastness of space. Its engines hummed softly, the sound faint but comforting to the small crew aboard. Captain Elias Thorne sat in the bridge, staring at the blinking monitors. His hands rested lightly on the console, but his mind raced. He had spent years chasing legends in the outer sectors, following scraps of data, rumors, and abandoned coordinates. And now, after months of navigating uncharted space, he had finally found something. On the main screen, a massive silhouette loomed. At first, it seemed impossible. No human ship could be that large, not even in dreams. It was an alien warship, long abandoned, or so the records suggested. "Captain," Lieutenant Mara Sykes said, her voice tight with excitement and fear, "I've never seen anything like this. It's huge. The hull is cracked, but sensors show faint energy readings. Someone or something left it here a long time ago." Elias' eyes narrowed. "Faint energy readings, you say? That means it's not entirely dead. Power is leaking somewhere, maybe reserves still survive inside. I want a full scan." The crew hurried. Mara's fingers flew across the console, bringing up detailed scans. The ship's size was staggering, kilometers long, its hull marked with scars of battles long forgotten. Strange symbols were etched across its surface, unknown even to the most advanced human linguists. "Captain," Mara continued, "this is bigger than the dread Leviathan files mentioned in the archives. If it's what I think it is." She swallowed hard, her eyes wide. "Then we are standing on the edge of history, Lieutenant," Elias said, his voice calm but charged with anticipation. He leaned back slightly in his chair, studying the ghostly outline on the screen. The Aurora's Edge approached slowly, its small engines humming against the vacuum. As they drew closer, the surface of the alien ship became more detailed: twisted metal, burn marks from ancient battles, and strange antennae that jutted out like skeletal fingers. Elias turned to his crew. "Prepare the boarding team. We go in, check systems, and see what's still active. Stay sharp. Whatever is inside, it's not ours. Remember, human ingenuity is our greatest weapon." The team suited up, airlocks depressurized, and the boarding shuttle launched. Mara stayed with Elias on the bridge, monitoring systems and relaying communications. The shuttle docked with the alien ship smoothly, considering its age. The boarding hatch hissed open, revealing the interior. Darkness stretched before them, broken only by dim, flickering lights that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. "Stay close," Elias instructed. His voice echoed slightly in the vast corridor. The walls were lined with unfamiliar panels, their surface smooth, cold, and metallic. Symbols glowed faintly, almost as if alive. "Captain," one of the engineers, Joran, whispered, "I feel like it's watching us." Elias smiled faintly. "Then it's paying attention to the right species." The crew explored cautiously. The corridors were immense, far larger than anything humans had built. Doors opened at their approach, responding to their presence. Sensors blinked as they swept for energy. It became clear that parts of the ship's systems were still alive, just enough to maintain basic operations. Finally, they reached what appeared to be the bridge. The room was massive, far beyond human proportions. A single console sat at the center, powered by faint blue energy. Holographic screens flickered to life as Elias approached. "Interesting," he muttered. "Looks like some kind of command interface. I wonder if it'll respond to us." He laid his hands on the console. Almost immediately, a soft hum filled the room. Lights along the walls brightened and strange symbols rotated on the screens. The ship's systems were awakening. "Captain," Mara's voice crackled over comms, "we're detecting a partial AI signature. It's fragmented, but it's alive." Elias' eyes narrowed. "Fragmented or not, it's our key. If we can interface with it, we can bring the ship fully online. This This is the kind of power humans were never meant to touch. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Are we really ready for this? Joran asked. We have no choice, Elias said firmly. If we don't, someone else will find it, and I'd rather it be us who controls it, not some alien fleet that thinks humans are weak. He began the interface process. His fingers danced over the alien controls, learning, improvising, making connections no human should understand instinctively. Slowly, the ship responded. Power levels rose, engines thrummed, and strange alien glyphs illuminated the corridors. Suddenly, the ship shuddered. The floor vibrated under their boots. Panels lit up with warnings in an alien script, but beneath it, Elias sensed understanding. The AI wasn't hostile, it was cautious. It had been dormant for centuries, waiting for someone capable enough to awaken it. Captain, Mara said, her voice tense. Energy readings are spiking. Something's happening. Elias nodded. It's waking up, and it knows we're here. The ship seemed to pulse with life, like a slumbering giant stretching after an impossible sleep. Holographic projections flickered, showing glimpses of distant star systems, alien fleets, and vast war machines. Elias could feel the power contained within the hull. He had never felt anything like it. A weapon, yes, but also a vessel capable of defending, exploring, and surviving in ways humans could barely imagine. Then came a sound, subtle at first, almost like a whisper but growing louder, resonating inside their minds. The AI spoke, not in words but in impressions, images, and emotions. A warning, do not awaken me. Danger will follow. Elias steadied himself. He was used to risk, but this was unlike anything he had faced. Still, his mind raced with possibilities. This ship could change humanity's place in the galaxy. We cannot turn back. He spoke aloud, carefully, as if reasoning with a person. We don't want to destroy you. We want to understand. Help us, and we can protect ourselves and others from those who would misuse your power. For a tense moment, nothing happened. Then the hum shifted, a vibration of approval or acknowledgement. The ship's systems fully activated. Lights, displays, and engines all responded to Elias' presence. Captain, it's alive, Mara whispered. It's responding to you. Elias felt a rush of exhilaration. The impossible had happened. Humans, weak and fragile in comparison to the alien leviathans of legend, had awakened a giant. Not through brute force, not through alien weapons, but through ingenuity, intelligence, and courage. He turned to his crew. We've done what no one thought possible. This ship is ours to understand, ours to protect, and perhaps ours to command. But make no mistake, others will come for it. And when they do, we will be ready. As they prepared to explore deeper into the alien ship, Elias couldn't help but feel a thrill. This was the beginning, not the end. The Aurora's Edge and its crew had found something beyond imagination, something that could make humanity the ultimate force in the galaxy. And yet somewhere deep in the AI's consciousness, a question lingered, almost like a challenge. Are humans truly ready to wield power like this? Elias smiled. We will show them, he said. We are ready. Outside the hull of the alien starship, the void of space remained silent. But within, something ancient had stirred, and the galaxy had just become a far more dangerous and far more human place. The crew didn't yet know the battles, tests, and moral choices that awaited them. But one thing was certain. Humanity had awakened a giant, and giants did not remain dormant for long. The corridors of the alien starship hummed with power. What had once been silent and lifeless now pulsed with energy, vibrating faintly beneath the boots of the human crew. Captain Elias Thorne walked slowly, eyes scanning the enormous alien panels, his mind racing. Every flicker of light, every hum of machinery told him one thing. This ship was alive, and it was waking up fast. Lieutenant Mara Sykes followed, her fingers brushing over alien glyphs that seemed to shift under her touch. Captain, she said cautiously, I've been running the interface logs. The AI, it's fragmented like it's incomplete. Some systems respond, some resist. It's like waking a giant from a 1,000-year sleep. Elias nodded, his expression thoughtful. Exactly, and like any giant we must earn its trust, or it might crush us without thought. The crew had split into teams. Engineers and technicians moved through the ship, carefully reconnecting power conduits, scanning alien data, and improvising with human tech where necessary. Even though the ship's technology was far beyond human understanding, Elias had a natural ability to see patterns where others saw only chaos. "Captain," Joran, the ship's engineer, called from a side corridor, "I've activated part of the propulsion system. Engines are responding partially, but there's an override sequence I can't crack. Whoever designed this wanted someone smart enough to finish it." Elias' eyes sparkled. "Then let's show it what humans are capable of." He stepped to the console and began interfacing directly. Unlike previous systems Elias had encountered, this AI didn't respond in words. Instead, it communicated in images, flashes of past battles, energy patterns, and strange emotions. At first, Elias struggled to interpret it, but slowly understanding came. The ship wasn't just a weapon, it was a strategic mind, a living war machine built to adapt, learn, and dominate. Suddenly, the lights dimmed and the hum deepened. The AI had noticed their presence, and it was testing them. "Captain," Mara warned, "we're seeing power surges in the main weapon arrays. The ship is aware of our actions." Elias smiled, though tension coiled in his chest. "Then we prove we're worthy." He moved quickly, inputting sequences, connecting human technology to alien systems, improvising where the alien logic blocked him. Every move was precise. Every action carried the weight of survival. The ship responded with a vibration through the floor, lights along the walls glowing brighter. A holographic display flickered to life, showing a map of nearby star systems and faint blips moving along paths that no human ship could reach so quickly. The AI was sharing knowledge, but only partially, cautious as ever. Joran whistled softly. "This is incredible. It's like the ship is alive. We're not just piloting it, we're talking to it, and it's talking back." Elias nodded. "Exactly, but we must remain careful. One wrong move and it could lock us out, or worse." For hours they worked. Elias deciphered alien symbols, reconnected circuits, and guided the AI to trust them. Slowly, more systems came online. Engines purred, defensive shields activated, and the hum of the ship grew louder, more confident. The crew began to understand the rhythm of the ship, a strange alien heartbeat they could now move with instead of against. Then came the first real challenge. A sensor ping sounded and Mara froze. "Captain, something's out there. Something is moving toward us fast." Elias' heart quickened. On screen, the main viewing display flickered, and there, moving through the darkness of space, was a small alien scouting fleet. Sleek dark ships, armed with weaponry humans had only glimpsed in old legends, now heading straight toward them. "They've detected the Starship," Mara whispered. Elias' jaw tightened. "Then it's time to show them what humans can do." He tapped into the ship's weapon arrays. The alien AI hesitated at first, testing his commands, but then the massive turrets on the hull shifted, energy nodes glowing brightly. The ship's systems were ready if humans could direct them. "Target the nearest ship," Elias commanded. "Fire sequence, now." Energy beams shot out, faster than human technology could replicate. The nearest alien vessel exploded in a brilliant flash. The rest scattered, momentarily stunned by the power of the revived Starship. "Captain, we just destroyed one of them without even touching the engines," Joran said, awe in his voice. This is insane." Elias' expression was grim. "Insane, yes, but effective. Don't get used to this feeling. Out there, the galaxy doesn't forgive mistakes." The alien fleet regrouped, larger ships moving to encircle them. The humans were still learning the ship's systems, and there was no time for hesitation. Elias made split-second decisions, combining human intuition with the ship's alien capabilities. Shields shifted, weapons reoriented, and the massive hull maneuvered in ways smaller ships could not predict. In the chaos, the crew began to understand an important truth. The Starship wasn't just a tool, it was a partner. It responded to their creativity, their choices, even their courage. "Captain," Mara said, scanning the alien fleet, "they're trying to predict our moves, but they can't. We're too unpredictable." Elias allowed himself a small smile. "Humans aren't predictable. That's our strength." The battle continued. For every alien ship that fired, the human crew countered with clever maneuvers, using the alien starship's speed and weaponry in ways no alien fleet had anticipated. Energy beams tore through space. Explosions lit the darkness, and through it all, Elia's calm determination guided every move. But the ship's AI was not yet fully awake. It was cautious, hesitant to fully release its power. Elias understood why. The AI had been built as a weapon of mass destruction, and it knew that uncontrolled power was dangerous. He had to prove that humans could wield it responsibly. He made a decision. Open a secure channel ship. Show them the full array, but hold the main reactors in reserve. Let them see our strength without crossing the line. The holographic displays expanded, revealing the ship's full capabilities. Energy weapons, defensive shields, propulsion systems faster than anything humans had seen, and automated drones ready to deploy. The alien fleet paused, scanning, trying to comprehend the sudden display. "They're hesitating," Mara said, hope in her voice. "They don't know what we're capable of." Elias nodded. "Good, let's use that hesitation." He directed the Starship in a series of calculated maneuvers. Smaller alien ships were outflanked, trapped by the massive hull's unexpected agility. Every move showcased human ingenuity, daring, and quick thinking. For the first time in centuries, humans had an advantage not because of numbers or technology alone, but because of creativity and courage. Hours passed, and the alien fleet finally retreated. The Aurora's Edge and its crew had survived the encounter. The Starship's systems, now partially fully awake, hummed with a new energy as if acknowledging their success. Elias took a deep breath, looking at the stars. "They won't be the last," he said quietly. "Out there, the galaxy is full of those who would take this power from us. But we've proven something important today. We are capable. We can rise to any challenge." Mara approached him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Captain, do you think the ship trusts us?" Elias studied the flickering lights of the alien console. He felt it in the vibrations beneath their boots, the subtle hum of the systems, and the way the ship responded to his thoughts. "Not yet fully," he said, "but we're on our way. It's learning that humans are different, that we are not just survivors. We are creators, thinkers, fighters." Joran joined them, still catching his breath. "Captain, do you realize what this means? With this ship, we could defend entire systems or destroy them if we wanted. Entire fleets would fall before us." Elias shook his head. "No. That is not why we awaken power. We wield it to survive, to protect, to show that humans can rise against impossible odds. That is what makes us strong. That is what makes us human." As night fell across the stars, the alien starship floated silently, a sleeping giant now partially awake, responding to the humans aboard. They had survived the first test, learned to work with the AI, and faced the galaxy's first challenge together. But Elias knew this was only the beginning. Somewhere, out in the darkness, forces were already moving, drawn to the sudden awakening of the ancient warship. And the humans, small and fragile compared to the giants of legend, would have to rise higher, think faster, and fight smarter than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Elias looked at his crew, all of them exhausted but alive, their eyes filled with awe and determination. "Rest if you can," he said, his voice steady. "Tomorrow we wake the rest of the ship. Tomorrow we learn its secrets and prepare for the real battle." The stars outside gleamed cold and distant, indifferent to the drama unfolding in their midst. But inside, a spark of something extraordinary had been ignited. Humanity had awakened a giant, and the galaxy would never be the same. The AI pulsed faintly in response, like a heartbeat, waiting, watching, and learning. And somewhere deep inside, it began to ask the question Elias had long expected. Are these humans truly ready to wield the power I contain? Elias smiled. We will show you. The newly awakened starship moved like a shadow across the void. Its colossal hull reflected distant starlight, a silent warning to anyone foolish enough to approach. Inside, the human crew was still adjusting to the vastness of their newfound power. Captain Elias Thorne stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the holographic display, plotting their next move. "Captain," Lieutenant Mara Sykes said, "we've received signals from nearby star systems. Alien fleets are mobilizing. They know something's changed, and they're not happy about it." Elias didn't flinch. "Then we show them that humans are not easy prey. Plot a course through the contested sector. We need information, allies, and practice." The Aurora's Edge, their smaller vessel, followed the alien starship's hull like a shadow, but it seemed almost insignificant next to the awakened giant. The ship's AI, now partially responsive, pulsed faintly in the background, its presence a constant reminder that humans were learning to wield a power far beyond anything their species had ever seen. "Captain," Joran, the engineer, said, "the main weapons systems are fully operational now. Energy levels are stable, but if we push too hard, I don't know if the AI can maintain control." Elias turned sharply. "Then we don't push. Not yet. We must be clever. Strength alone is not enough to survive out here. Humans are survivors because we think, we adapt, and we predict. That's what the galaxy underestimates." As they approached the first contested system, the sensors flickered with dozens of contacts. Small scouting ships, patrol vessels, and larger cruisers moved in patterns that were both disciplined and aggressive. They had clearly been drawn by the sudden awakening of the ancient warship. Mara scanned the fleet. "They're trying to trap us. If they coordinate, they could overwhelm the ship before it can react." Elias smiled faintly. "Then we use what they don't expect." He issued commands quickly, combining the alien ship's superior speed with unpredictable maneuvers. The vessel twisted and turned through asteroid fields, weaving between debris that smaller ships could not navigate as easily. Energy beams streaked past, intercepted by shields or deflected by rapid course changes. "This is insane," Joran muttered. "We're not just fighting, we're dancing through a minefield with a weapon no one else can even understand." "Exactly," Elias replied, "and that's why we survive." The first clash began with a series of skirmishes. Smaller alien ships approached, weapons firing. The humans responded with precision, their creativity turning every encounter into an advantage. They used asteroid cover, gravitational anomalies, and even the ship's AI to misdirect the enemy. Each move displayed not brute strength, but strategy, the hallmark of human ingenuity. In one daring maneuver, Elias directed the alien starship into the center of a dense asteroid belt. Enemy vessels followed, only to become trapped. The humans unleashed energy bursts that disabled engines, forcing some ships to drift helplessly. Others tried to retreat, only to find the humans anticipating their movements at every turn. The alien AI, once hesitant, began to respond in unexpected ways. Shields adapted more quickly, turrets recalibrated in real time, and the starship systems predicted enemy strategies. But even with all this, Elias knew the AI was cautious. It was learning not just from its programming but from human intuition. "Captain," Mara said, pointing at the holographic display, "the fleet has brought in reinforcements, larger ships more heavily armed. We can't fight them all head-on." Elias' mind raced. He realized that brute force alone would not win this battle. He needed to outthink them to exploit the very predictability of alien strategy. "Prepare the ship for evasive maneuvers," he said calmly. We're going to divide and conquer. Using the ship's superior propulsion and human strategy, Elias led the alien fleet into a trap. Smaller vessels were isolated and destroyed, while larger ships were misled by holographic decoys. For every attack the aliens planned, humans countered with creativity, adapting faster than the enemy could predict. During the chaos, Mara discovered an unexpected feature. The ship could create localized energy distortions, effectively bending light to make parts of the hull invisible. "Captain," she said, excitement in her voice, "we can vanish from their sensors entirely." Elias' eyes lit up. "Then we're going to use it. They think they know us. They don't." The humans struck with precision, using the ship's newfound abilities to dismantle alien formations. They moved like ghosts, appearing where least expected, hitting targets that were supposedly secure, and disappearing before retaliation could occur. Amid the battle, a moral challenge emerged. Some of the crew hesitated, unsettled by the destructive potential of the ship. Captain Joran said, "We're powerful, too powerful. We could annihilate entire fleets if we wanted. Are we allowed to do this?" Elias' expression softened, but his voice was firm. "We are allowed to survive and to protect ourselves. The galaxy is harsh. We don't choose this power lightly, but we do choose to use it wisely. That is what makes us human." The AI, sensing this human restraint, seemed to respond. Turrets held fire longer, systems adapted, and energy levels stabilized instead of pushing the crew to maximum destructive potential. The ship was not just a weapon, it was learning to respect human judgment. Hours passed, and the alien fleets began to withdraw. They had underestimated humans and the Starship had proven its value, but Elias knew the victory was temporary. Intelligence reports indicated that larger, more organized fleets would soon arrive. "Captain," Mara said, her tone serious, "the galaxy is starting to notice us. They'll be back and with more ships." Elias nodded. "Then we must be ready. This was a test of our strategy, our teamwork, and our courage. We passed, but the real challenge is coming. We need to understand the ship fully, its weapons, its shields, its AI, and integrate with it completely. Only then will we survive the real war." The crew moved quickly to explore deeper into the alien vessel. They found sections of the ship that housed weapon systems far beyond human technology. Energy cannons that could pierce planets, drones that could repair or fight autonomously, and sensors that could detect life across light years. Each discovery tested their skills, pushing them to improvise and adapt. Elias led the effort, teaching the crew how to think like the ship, not just operate it. The bond between humans and machine grew, a partnership of intelligence and creativity. One night, after a particularly grueling series of tests and simulations, Elias walked through the main corridor. The hum of the ship was steady, almost comforting now. Mara joined him. "Captain," she said quietly, "do you think the AI trusts us?" Elias smiled faintly. "Not fully, but it's learning. It recognizes that humans are unpredictable, intelligent, and capable of more than survival. That is why it responds. That is why it works with us." Suddenly, the ship pulsed, a soft vibration that ran through the hull. Images appeared in the holographic displays, distant star systems, alien fleets, and unknown technologies. The AI was communicating, teaching, testing. Elias understood immediately. It wants us to think bigger, not just fight, but strategize, anticipate, and lead. The galaxy is a chessboard and we're learning the rules. Mara looked at him, eyes wide. "And what about the enemies? The fleets we fought, they'll be back stronger." Elias' jaw tightened. "Then we'll be ready. We've learned today that humans are more than we appear. We think, we adapt, we innovate. And when the galaxy underestimates us, that is when we become unstoppable." Joran joined them, exhaustion etched on his face. "Captain, this ship, it's incredible. I've never felt anything like it, but are we really ready for the galaxy?" Elias placed a hand on his shoulder. "We are. Not because we are the strongest, not because we are the fastest, but because we are human. And no machine, no alien fleet, and no power in the universe can match human courage, creativity, and resilience. As they gazed out into the stars, the alien fleets that had once threatened them seemed small, insignificant, compared to the possibilities now open to humanity. But Elias knew the next battle would not be a simple test of strategy or courage. It would be a challenge of morality, leadership, and the limits of power. The AI pulsed again, almost like a heartbeat, acknowledging their growth, but also warning of greater challenges ahead. Elias turned to his crew. Rest if you can. Tomorrow, we take the ship deeper into contested space. Tomorrow, we meet the galaxy not as humans alone, but as humans commanding a force it has never seen before. We will face impossible odds, but we will rise. That is who we are. The crew dispersed, each member grappling with exhaustion and exhilaration. The ship hummed softly, alive and aware, waiting for the next challenge. And somewhere deep within its alien consciousness, a question lingered, almost like a promise. Are humans truly ready to become the ultimate weapon of the galaxy? Elias smiled. We will answer that question, he said, and when we do, the galaxy will never forget humanity. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the hull, silent witnesses to a species that had dared to awaken a giant, and to claim its power as their own. The human crew, small and fragile as they seemed, had already begun reshaping the destiny of the galaxy. And the real test, the one that would determine if humans were merely survivors or true masters, was just beginning. The galaxy was waking up to a new reality. Word of the human-controlled Starship had spread faster than any fleet could chase. Alien alliances whispered in fear, fleets shifted positions, and entire systems prepared for a threat they could barely understand. Inside the Starship, Captain Elias Thorne stood on the bridge, calm but alert. His eyes scanned the holographic displays that showed dozens of alien fleets converging toward their location. This was no longer a test, it was a challenge to see if humanity could survive and dominate on the scale of empires. Lieutenant Mara Sykes, standing beside him, was tense. Captain, they're huge. Entire fleets, hundreds of ships, maybe more. They won't negotiate, they'll just try to destroy us. Elias nodded. Then we fight smarter, not harder. Humans have something the galaxy forgets too often: creativity. Fear of the unknown can be turned into advantage. Watch and learn. Joran, the ship's engineer, was monitoring energy levels. Captain, the main reactors are stable. The AI is fully integrated now. We can access every system, the weapons, propulsion, defense arrays, everything. But this much energy, this much power, if we push too far, we could destroy ourselves. Elias smiled faintly. Then we don't push too far. We push just far enough to survive, and to show them the cost of underestimating humans. Outside, the fleets approached like shadows across a black sea. Alien ships bristled with weapons, their formations precise, their tactics practiced over centuries. Yet the humans had something no one else could predict: the alien starship, guided by human ingenuity, and a crew willing to think beyond the rules. Captain, Mara said, they're trying to flank us from the north. If they succeed, we're trapped. Elias' mind worked instantly. He plotted a maneuver that used the ship's size, weapons, and AI in ways the aliens could not anticipate. Divert auxiliary power to the cloaking arrays, he ordered. We vanish from sensors. Then engage reverse vectors around the asteroid field. Let them follow what they think is our position. The humans vanished. The alien fleet scanned, fired, and adjusted, but found nothing. Meanwhile, the starship moved like a phantom, invisible and unstoppable. In a sudden strike, massive energy beams erupted from hidden turrets, disabling several of the larger alien cruisers before they even realized the humans had attacked. Captain, this is incredible, Joran breathed. We're invisible to them and we can hit anywhere we want. Elias didn't smile. It's not enough to survive. We must show them humans are more than a threat. They are a force no one can predict or control. The battle raged for hours. Energy beams sliced through space, shields flared, and alien drones attempted to swarm the starship. Each human decision turned the tide. Where alien commanders expected patterns, the humans acted unpredictably, combining strategy, improvisation, and risk in ways no AI or fleet could fully calculate. Amid the battle, the AI spoke, not in words but through the ship's vibrations, energy pulses, and holographic projections. It was learning at an unprecedented rate. Systems adapted, defensive shields shifted in anticipation, and weapon arrays recalibrated faster than human reflexes could respond. Yet the AI trusted its human crew completely now. "Captain," Mara said, pointing at the display, "they're attempting a mass coordination. This is bigger than anything we've seen. They're trying to overwhelm the ship completely." Elias' jaw tightened. "Good. That means we get the advantage. Human ingenuity isn't measured by firepower alone. It's measured by cleverness, adaptability, and courage. We'll outthink them, outmaneuver them, and survive." He executed a daring plan. Using the starship's size and energy, he created massive decoys, holographic projections of the ship appearing in multiple locations. Smaller alien fleets were drawn into these false positions, only to be trapped by energy nets the humans had improvised from alien tech. In the center of the chaos, Elias targeted the core of the largest alien formation. Using the ship's advanced propulsion, they struck from an unexpected angle, sending a shockwave through the fleet. Alien ships collided, weapons malfunctioned, and panic spread. Humanity's unpredictable tactics were winning the battle, not brute strength but intelligence and creativity. During a brief lull, Elias addressed his crew. "This is why humans survive. We are not the strongest. We are not the fastest. But we are adaptable, courageous, and clever. We can use what others cannot. And this ship is proof that we are more than a single species. It is proof that humans can command the impossible." The crew worked tirelessly, each member pushing the starship to its limits. Mara coordinated tactical strikes, Joran optimized energy flow, and every engineer and officer contributed their creativity. Together, they had become a symbiotic team, blending human intuition with alien technology. But even as they gained the upper hand, Elias knew they faced a moral challenge. The ship had weapons capable of destroying entire planets. Every attack, every strike, carried the weight of potential genocide. "Captain, are we using this responsibly?" Mara asked, voice trembling. Elias looked at her, firm and resolute. "We are. We strike only to survive and to stop those who would destroy us. Humans are powerful, yes, but our strength is in knowing when to fight and when to show mercy. That is what separates us from mindless machines, from empires that rule through fear alone." The alien fleets regrouped for one final strike. Hundreds of ships, armed with energy weapons and advanced AI coordination, aimed directly at the humans. It seemed like an impossible situation. Yet Elias remained calm. "Engage full synchronization with the AI," he ordered. "Link every system, every sensor, every weapon. We fight as one, humans and machine together. Let them see what happens when they underestimate us." The starship pulsed with energy, larger and more powerful than ever before. Shields shimmered, turrets rotated, and the vessel moved with impossible precision. Every human decision, every instinct, guided the AI in real time. The final battle began. The starship moved like a living creature, striking where the aliens were weakest, adapting to their tactics instantly, and countering every move with unpredictable genius. Energy beams tore through enemy formations, while the humans anticipated retreats and flanked them with perfect timing. Minutes felt like hours. Entire alien fleets were dismantled, their ships disabled or destroyed, their commanders unable to comprehend the tactics used against them. For the first time, humans were not just surviving, they were masters of the battlefield. At last, the remnants of the alien coalition retreated. Their ships fled into the darkness, defeated, bewildered, and terrified. Humanity had survived, not through raw power, but through strategy, intelligence, and courage. Elias exhaled, looking at the bridge. His crew was exhausted but exhilarated. "We did it," Mara said softly. Elias shook his head. "No, we did not just survive, we proved something important. The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. Today, we showed that ingenuity, courage, and creativity are more powerful than raw numbers or ancient fleets. We are more than survivors. We are leaders, strategists, and a force to be reckoned with." The ship pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. The AI, now fully integrated, seemed to acknowledge their achievement. It had tested the humans and they had passed. Together, they had transformed the Starship from a dormant weapon into a living symbol of human potential. "Captain," Joran said, looking at the holographic display of alien fleets retreating, "what now? The galaxy knows we exist. Won't others come for us?" Elias smiled faintly. "Yes, they will, but that is their problem. We have the power, the strategy, and the ability to survive anything they send. And if they threaten us again, they will learn that humans are not just clever, they are unstoppable when united with intelligence and courage." Mara nodded. "So, humanity has the ultimate weapon." Elias' gaze swept across the stars. "Not just a weapon, a symbol, a reminder that even the smallest, weakest species can rise above impossibility. That even humans, alone among the stars, can take what was thought impossible and make it reality. That is what being human means." The crew stood silently, looking out at the galaxy. Stars stretched endlessly, cold and distant, but now humanity had left its mark. Not through domination, not through fear, but through courage, intelligence, and the audacity to awaken a giant. Somewhere deep within the AI, there was a sense of understanding, a recognition that humans were unlike any species it had encountered. They were resourceful, unpredictable, and brave. They were capable of commanding the impossible. Elias turned to his crew. "Rest if you can. But remember, this is only the beginning. We have shown the galaxy our strength, but true leadership is not measured by a single battle. It is measured by courage, wisdom, and the ability to inspire others. That is what we will continue to do." The humans worked to stabilize systems, repair minor damage, and prepare for what was next. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges, threats, and opportunities, but humanity had proven that it was ready. And somewhere in the darkness beyond known space, alien fleets whispered rumors of a species that had awakened a starship from the dead, a species that fought not with mindless aggression, but with courage, strategy, and ingenuity. Humanity had made its mark. The abandoned starship was no longer just a weapon, it was a testament to what humans could achieve. It was proof that no matter the odds, humans could rise, adapt, and command the impossible. The stars glimmered silently, but the galaxy had already changed. Humanity was no longer a minor player in the cosmic arena. They were a force, clever, daring, and unstoppable. Captain Elias Thorne looked out at the stars one last time, the hum of the awakened starship beneath his feet. "This is our galaxy now," he said softly. "And it will never be the same again."